Well, with Kawhi Leonard sidelined, Paul George has been asked to carry a heavier load in LA, and he's responded by lighting up the scoreboard this season.
The LA Clippers have a super high switch rate 1 through 4 at his will at that point. Should have not reached in at that point.
So it'll be 3 free throws. By the way, these are two teams that free throw attempts per game. Paul George able to hit them both.
Clippers. They were an excellent shooting team. So 3-point percentage, they're 22nd in the league, shooting 32.4. But not having, obviously, Marcus Morris guarding PG here, at least early on.
And Paul George off the glass and in. 15 points for him in the opening quarter. Paul George, though, in some foul trouble. This is a Clippers team, Jim, that has struggled on the glass this season. They were out-rebounded by 20-plus in their 2 games against Cleveland and Phoenix as well. That didn't work out so good for them in that series.
Again, Minnesota flying around here. Last possession was excellent for Minnesota. And it's also called determination. Both things that are Anthony Edwards' attributes.
Bucket by Bledsoe on the other end. Thus far.
Set the hook that time, baby. Nice job by Paul George out of the timeout. Again, backdoor cut by Paul George. Trying to take advantage of the mismatch. Sometimes he gets a little overzealous.
It's the first second chance bucket of the game for the Wolves. Paul George, his first made 3 tonight.
The shot is so flat. It's got great rotation, but just a little flat.
Paul George, that found the geometric center of the circle.
Stealing my line. Skate. And has not hit 2 threes in a game since then. He's 2 for 2 in this one.
Paul George.
Paul George is PG.
Paul George said something to Towns. They were coming back up the floor, and then he sets up Zubac as Towns was trailing.
Towns out of the timeout, can't get that to go. That if Kevin Garnett's the big ticket, that Anthony Edwards should be the main event.
Well, we said that on the line.
That's how you realize this young kid at 20 years of age can just completely take over a game.
They just turned 20 back in August.
It's just ridiculous. The way he's been shooting the ball from outside the arc.
5 fouls in that opening half, so they got a lot of fouls to play with here in the second half.
And Josh Okogie got his money's worth on a couple against Paul George, but PG comes in, and one thing that phrase is Paul George gets an easy one there for Ivica Zubac. He was dead in the water in Charlotte.
He certainly was.
He was making all that money. He was making all that money, and I think there's a lot of angst as PG knocked down the shot. Whatever shooting woes the Clippers have had before this game, if Carl throws it out, you've got to swing it to the backside. That's where the open player is.
Paul George.
Unreal.
I mean, he's just hitting everything right
now. It's been an incredible shooting display.
Video because it's
they got rules
Olympic
against that
restrictions.
Yeah.
But you know, you can certainly YouTube it and check it out if you haven't seen it. As Jackson drills the 3, I had a chance to talk to Batum,
Terrence Mann, and Malik Beasley at FSU. I'm a big Leonard Hamilton fan too. He just is a great coach.
Oh, how does Paul George get that to go? The Wolves get a hand on it, and it goes anyway.
In pick and roll game, in transition, turning the corner, getting to the rim.
Long here. I mean,
that's even blocked. I mean,
Jim, it's not like the Timberwolves have played poorly here tonight. The Clippers have just played better.
No. The Wolves have tried to do the right thing by getting the ball out of Paul George's hands, but I mean, to go. Noel's in the game too, by the way, for Minnesota. Easy play by Paul George, just sifting through Minnesota's defense.
11 of 14. It's a technical foul on number 22. So Paul George looking to get back that point. The Timberwolves were just giving up the defensive 3 seconds, and he does.
Just plain old Wolves. Yeah. I love Wolves.
Anthony Edwards on the Clippers scouting report and how he wants to get to the point where they got to D up with him the second he touches the ball. Pretty sure that's what the Timberwolves scouting report said about Paul George.
There's no doubt. I mean, you know, so much so, just like with Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota, you know, was having to face a double team with Towns. They wanted to get the ball out of Towns' hands. Minnesota.
Full post-game reaction coming up on Wolves